Hi gamers, and welcome to my second video in my Warhammer series, where I talk about mainly Warhammer Age of Sigmar, some new releases, what I've painted recently, what I've played recently, etc. So, if you're here, let's assume that you like Warhammer, so let's dive right in. Of course, if you play Age of Sigmar, you'll surely have one of these already, General's Handbook 2019, which is basically the second Christmas of the year for us Age of Sigmar players. We get new rules and more importantly, new points for matched play. And this, of course, is a lot more than just points. You got the player's code here. This has been making some rounds in the internet, how you should conduct yourself when you're playing. Then your standard open play games, some army generator, terrain generator. This is actually I don't think that many people play open play. They just keep it here, so that they can say that there is an alternative. And this is basically how Age of Sigmar started out, and they don't want to, I guess, admit that everybody just wants to go back to the days of old and strict rules and points cost and all that. But hey, open play is still here. But yeah, this terrain generator, it's okay. Tried this for one game and worked out well. Just speeds things up when you're starting out. Of course, it's pretty interesting to generate the terrain with your opponent, but it's this just takes a lot less time to do it, and I guess it's more fair to each player. So nice to have this tool as well. This time I didn't get the Warlord edition that had all these cards, in physical card form. I got the Warlords edition last year, so I think I'm good with those. We have the regiments of renown here, and battle plans. Basically, they actually I haven't counted, but I think most battle plans are here from the previous year, if not all. They just have this 2019 tag here. So they updated these, tweaked these, and made some glaring mistakes a bit better. This one, meeting engagements. This is a pretty interesting one. It's a nice way to play a bit of a smaller game, but a bit more tactical. So definitely gonna give this one a try. Basically, here you can see from the new battle plans, you got your start and turn 1 and turn 2 places where your units spawn at. So you don't put everything into the battlefield at the start of the game, but you have to think ahead what you start out with and what you put in at a later turn. So that's pretty interesting. Nice twist. And then the allegiance abilities here for armies that don't have their updated army books yet. It's kind of funny how they took out Synth, their new summoning rules that they had from in the previous year. They still don't have a new updated book, but they still removed scenes from this one. So well, I guess if you're a scenes player, you have to have the previous year's book. But it's kind of irks me how they keep making different books. You got the magic here, you got some new campaigns here, you got the General's Handbook here, which doesn't have all of the stuff that they had in the previous year, so they took out some stuff. And this year they made the points costs a different booklet, which I guess it's fine. Either you're referencing points, then you take just this from your bookshelf, or you're referencing something else, so just take this. But still, I would pay good money to get a rules book this thick each year that has everything basically. But we'll see if they'll do it. Yeah, new points. It's always fun to go through all your old armies and see if they go up or down in points, and what kind of tweaks you have to do. And it's nice that they added some Forge World stuff here as well. Not all of it, which is curious, but for example, for Chaos, they added. Let's see where we are. They added Legion of Asgore and the Tamarkan's Horde. They're not here, they're later on, sorry. So it's nice for them to print out stuff for Forge World as well, instead of pretending that they're a totally different thing, when you can use Forge World. Here we go. When you can use Forge World miniatures in your games as much as any other miniature. So yeah, really like Forge World. Speaking of which, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I do have a Legion of Asgore or Chaos Dwarf army. It wasn't cheap, but I guess that's part of the allure for me as a collector. I'm just gravitating towards something that is exclusive, and you have to put your mind to it in order to collect everything. And yeah, I guess I can show it to you in a separate video. But I have at least one of each unit for a Legion of Asgore. All of the war machines, I love those. Lots of cannons and weird machines, and love the bull centaurs, and yeah, really powerful army. And I like shooting cannons. It's something that I haven't done previously in my Warhammer career. But one thing I was missing, and that is the Skullcracker war engine. And a lot of people were missing this because Forge World stopped selling this. Was it last year's January? So a year and a half ago. They just stopped selling it. It disappeared from their website, much like, for example, Chaos War Mammoth disappeared as well. And nobody really knows why. People think that maybe they broke the mold, but if that's the case, why don't they just do a new one? Of course, it's expensive, but I don't know. One theory is that they got so many returns of it that it was just getting too expensive for them to keep replacing the parts, and that's why they phased it out. But finally, I had been looking for a Skullcracker war engine on eBay for a good 6 months, and there was nothing. Not even pirated ones. Warhammer is people are making their own. Counterfeit stuff is coming in from China, and you can, at any given moment, you can find several Chaos War Mammoths on eBay that are counterfeit, and they're not cheap. But for a Skullcracker war engine, there was nothing. I guess it was too complicated even to counterfeit. But finally, on Facebook, Age of Sigmar group, I found one, and I immediately bought it. It wasn't cheap. This was like 200 euros. So that was a lot of money, but something that I had been wanting for a long time, and it was the only thing that was missing from my army. And it has really good rules. It's a great killing machine, and I do like the aesthetics here. Just a crazy amount of spikes and picks and saws and blades and really good stuff. Of course, I don't have the crew here. Just put it together. It took me like at least 10 hours, maybe like a dozen hours. So it's less of assembling a miniature, but more like a model, basically like a model airplane or something like that. You really have to know where each part is going, and you have to wash the Forge World pieces out of the solution that they're cast with, and you go through every part with a toothbrush, and of course you have to use super glue, and yeah, this is. But it was a fantastic experience. The Iron Demon war engine was almost as complicated as this, but this does take the cake. And I haven't used this in a game yet, but I will. But if you're shouting at the screen there, you must know something that a lot of people noticed, and it's that exactly 1 week after I got this, I finally found this, the General's Handbook came out, and this is missing from the points here, from the printed Legion of Asgore. There's everything else with the same points costs as they had been previously been, but Skullcracker War Engine is just gone, and so is Chaos War Mammoth as well. Now, a lot of us, and mostly me, but a lot of other people as well were pissed, because why would they do this? People have invested. Of course, not everybody has put in as much money as I did for this, but even if you bought it, for retail price, you would expect that you can keep using it. They're quite clear in the fact that if it's not in this book, you can't play it in match play. But still, I guess the whole Legion of Asgore community breathed a bit of a sigh of relief when we found out that this is indeed in the Azure app still, and in the War Scroll Builder online as well. So clearly they haven't, got rid of this altogether. We're just thinking, why did they took it out from this printed copy? And I think it's because Legion of Asgore is an army that's modern. It's not like Tomb Kings or something like that. Tomb Kings are printed in this one, which is ironic. But Legion of Asgore is a modern army, but this is still something that you can buy from from Games Workshop. So I think that's why they took it out, so that people wouldn't feel like they're missing out something. You can't buy this, so I guess that's the reason why they didn't print this, because this piece of paper here can't be the whole truth, because this also doesn't have the 500 euro Corn Dragon that came out. Was it last year or something like that? So. And that's definitely something that you need to be able to play if you put down 500 euros and then it's not in this book. So that's clearly a mistake. And, Forge World and Games Workshop can't be that stupid that they would put in, the seed of doubt to people that, whatever they're buying from Forge World, that, they could lose the ability to play with them. at a later date if Games Workshop feels like that. So it just can't be like that, and the Corn Dragon proves it. So I think it's more like a mistake or something like that. So of course there's the FAQ coming up as all new releases are followed by an FAQ. So I think they'll set the record straight there in the FAQ. But if they don't, it's unthinkable how much damage that would do to Forge World. People wouldn't be able to buy their models if something like that would be possible at all. I don't think it is. I think it's gonna be playable still. So that's it for the General's Handbook 2019, and then I thought I'd show you some models that I've painted, and these are my first painted figures with the new contrast paints. I just love them. I think they're really good at what they attempt to do, but also really surprising results. Just how easy it is to paint with these. Just the ability to take paint straight from the pot and not dilute it or mix it with medium. It's not required depending on the color. You can just take some paint from the pot and slab it on, and it's just so liberating. I love painting with contrast paints. Some of these are really dark, like here Zygar Brown. When I put this on a pair of Blood River pants, it was just too dark. So what I did was, instead of me having to mix it with medium each and every time I take something out of the pot, I just put in just a little amount of medium, as much as a full pot can take, and just mix it right then and there, and now this is almost a perfect consistency. It's still very dark, but you can still now you can actually see some of the creases getting highlighted, and yeah, just a better overall consistency for my tastes. And these are some of the first figures that I painted with these. I painted Karanak and Fleshhounds. And let's see if we can do a little, let's get some more light here. Not sure if this is good. Yeah, I do like how it does its work. This is one layer of the I can check this, the Flesh Tearers Red, and then I put a coat of Druchii Violet on top, and then I put the gray contrast paint on the black areas here. And I think that gives a nice and varied skin here, and it really took me no time at all here. It was really fast, and I like how the skin it really has some depth to it, and I'd say it's a really easy way to get some good results. Not sure. I think I have a pretty bright environment here. I don't think this looks quite natural how it looks in real life. It should be, I think, a bit more red, but I think you can still see some of the benefits here of contrast. Yeah, really easy and a nice way to get some results. And it's not, of course, for everything. I'm a big Stormcast player and painter, so I'm still gonna be using metallics for those. And here the colors are metallics, and the details in the face are normal paints. But other than that, all of the skin is contrast, basically. Yeah, so really good stuff. especially, you know, for demons, anything that has a lot of skin, be it human or animal. And so yeah, definitely Seraphon. That's really easy to do those. So think what you can do with contrast and get painting. I really can't recommend it enough. I was also started out painting 50 Blood Reavers. This is how far I've gotten in all 50. Just put the skin, the red, and the light brown. And next up it's dark brown in the pants and belts and I guess the grips on the weapons. And basically after that it's just metallics on the weapons and brass on the trims, and then we're almost ready to base. It's still gonna take me a lot of time to do all 50 of these guys, but you know, with that contrast, I don't think I would even attempt it. I think I would just play with some gray pieces of plastic whenever I'm playing Khorne. So this is you know, something that makes you attempt the impossible. I think that's sounds like a good tagline, but yeah, it's for me it's really interesting product, and I'm gonna keep you updated on how I'm doing with these 50 guys. I guess finally I could talk a bit how my recent game went. I'm after I started out this of my second wind of my Warhammer hobby, after 15 years of pause, I think I've played maybe 8 games or 7 games, so not too many, but still you know, surprisingly a lot. For me, I actually got into this just painting and collecting. I was kinda hoping that I could get to the gaming part, but I wasn't counting on it. But luckily I found a couple of like-minded nerds like me, and we've been playing maybe once a month. And yeah, maybe 7 matches, 4 with my Stormcast, 2 with my Legion of Asgorth, and 1 with Khorne now. I think I've won all of the games with my Stormcast, and won and lost 1 with the Legion of Asgorth, and now with Khorne I lost my first game, but that's okay. I'm gonna regroup and think of something, some other plan to do. Although I gotta say, I know it's always kinda dull complaining about your poor dice luck, but this time I really have to take that into account. I can't beat myself up too much for my loss, because boy did my Seraphon opponent have good luck with him. You guys know how Razor Dawns are pretty much the best artillery in the game. I think they just, even though they raised their points and they made the unit size smaller, they're still very effective. You know, shooting 2d6 times at you, so it's a huge amount of missile fire there. But not only do they, you know, shoot in their own missile phase, shooting phase, they can also activate on a 4+, so 50-50 chance of being able to shoot when they get charged at. And being Khorne, my only plan of action was to charge my opponent and kill them, and I think I made like 15 charges against the Razor Dawns, and maybe 12 times out of those 15 he got the 4+ and unloaded 2d6 missiles into my guys. And it wasn't like 4 or 5 or even 7 hits, it was almost always above the curve. So it was like 8, 9, 10, 11 hits. It was just brutal, and blood reavers and blood leaders having 5+ and 6+ saves, my guys just melted away before they even got to a fair fight. So I don't think it was representative of what Korn can do, but better luck next time. Better luck next time. I can't beat myself too much about this. It was there was only so much that I could do after that. Of course, that means but hit points. I don't think I did optimal summoning in my first game. It's pretty tough to figure out what to summon and where to go after that. It was still a tight match. The final round separated, made the distinction between our victory points. So it wasn't, even then, with those absolutely extra amount of shooting, it wasn't a complete overkill. It was a tight match. So we'll see the next time how I'll do. I guess that's it for this Warhammer video. Hope you like this. Let me know in the comments what was the best part. Was it me talking about the new rules and General's Handbook, or was it me showing the paint jobs here, and or was it me talking about how I did in my previous matches that I played. You can always check out some of my paint jobs, maybe in a better light than this, on my Instagram channel. I'm FinnGamer there. Check out what I've painted previously. There's quite a good number of photos that I've taken. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you next time. Bye.